So thank you guys for joining today. Kicking off this OU Wellbeing Awareness Month. We're starting with Get to Know OU-Tulsa Schusterman Library. We have Stu Brown with us here today. So really excited to learn a little bit more how the Schusterman Library, what services you have to offer. It's more than just books and going and doing research, right? And how it can really enhance our overall well-being. So Stu, really appreciate having you here today. Thank you.
No, thank you for inviting me to speak, and I really appreciate having this time. And I don't know when you said it's all going to be about well-being and well-being awareness. Honestly, the first thing that occurred to me is that the library, makes available coffee. We have coffee every morning. We have coffee on weekends. There's always coffee basically available in the library. People should come and have coffee. That's where all of my well-being comes from. Everything else after that is just sliding downhill. I don't even know what number cup this is today. Doctor, asked me, like, how many cups of coffee do you drink a day? And I'm like, yes. So anyway, but we do have coffee. We have a lot of other things here at the Schusterman Library at OU-Tulsa. And one of the things I'll mention to anybody who's in the room who's not actually physically located in Tulsa is that some combination of some of these elements probably exists in whatever your campus library is as well. We rely a great deal on both the Zell Library down in Oklahoma City and Byrd Library in Oklahoma City. We'll be getting to that here in a minute. We have our own vision statement for the library, which is that we focus on helping students become scholars. To get us there, we focus on four different values: adapting to a changing world and a changing information environment, striving for fairness and equity in all of our operations, transparency in all of our operations, trying to be collaborative, trying to find ways of working with the various faculty, staff, and student groups across campus, and finding ways to accomplish more together, and continuing our engagement with the academic tradition. The library is supposed to be the warehouse of the entire academic contribution, the literature that we have out there. And so we very much consider ourselves to be a part of that. We exist in this weird place in between both OU and OUHSC, but it's kind of a wonderful place to be. Because the University of Oklahoma and the Health Sciences Center focus so much energy on collection development, on buying ebooks, e-journals, databases, all those different resources that libraries have. Because they focus on that, we don't have to as much. And so our focus becomes on a lot of different things related to helping people, become scholars. And I'm going to examine some of that as we get through these slides. Just a few quick facts about the library. We are small. Oh my gosh, we're tiny. 22,000 square foot facility that was built back in 2011. We're only open about 72 hours a week. Open most days at 8 o'clock. Weekends, we open at 1 in the afternoon. 9 full-timers, 2 part-timers, and a small fleet of graduate assistants. And that's really what lets us do all of the really cool things that we get to do here at Schusterman. So, Well-Being Awareness Month. Let's focus on some of the things that the library has that contribute to well-being of our patrons. What you're seeing here is a collage of all these different things that we make available here in the library. On the left-hand side, you'll see a fidget bar. That fidget bar exists underneath a bunch of height-adjustable desks. We have height-adjustable tables basically throughout the library that are available for people to use, along with rolling whiteboards. And if you look at that upper middle photo, you'll see a picture of that whiteboard kind of there in the background. Beneath that, bicycle desks that we make available that are available for anybody to use. In the upper right-hand corner, we have a plinth. Some people think of it as a massage table or an exam table, but this is a folding table that our physical therapy students, occupational therapy students use. Here's a picture of Kevin, one of the PT students from a few years back, actually performing exercises and manipulations that they're going to have to learn in order to get through their classes. And so we make those available to the students. But the prize of our mind plus body group of equipment is in the lower right-hand corner, are walking treadmill desks. Anytime that somebody comes in the library, these are likely to be in use. They max out at just a couple of miles an hour, so they're never going to be all that fast, but you can set up a laptop or whatever other kind of device you like on top, and during your lunch hour, during your break, or any other scheduled time, you actually can go to the library's website. You can schedule these in advance, reserve these units in advance, then come over, check them out, and use them. And they're fantastically cool to work on. Keeps everybody just a little bit more physically active as they're making their way through what can sometimes be an otherwise very sedentary day. The library also has a lot of events, and coming up as a part of Wellness Awareness Month, we are going to be doing one of our favorite events. We haven't done one of these in years, the 20 by 20. This is going to be scheduled for September 28th, I believe, at noon. And the 20 by 20 is where we invite folks from around campus to give these flash presentations, 20 PowerPoint slides, 20 seconds each, and they can talk about anything that they want that isn't related to work. In this case, we're going to have people give presentations that focus on wellness and well-being. And so it really should be a fantastic lunch and learn opportunity. We're really looking forward to doing the 20 by 20. It's been close to maybe 5-6 years since we had our last 20 by 20 event. So really looking forward to this. We also have things like board games. We recently did a game night here in the library along with pizza. People showed up in good numbers for that. It's a lot of fun to have board games around. We actually make these available for the students and the other folks on campus to check out, just like they'd check out any book from the collection. Additionally, we have lots of just fidgety type things around the library to keep people entertained. On the left-hand side, you're seeing some folks working on a jigsaw puzzle. We almost always have a jigsaw puzzle out by the front entrance of the library. Folks can just work on it as they have time. If you look very carefully, you'll see Kevin again, by the way. He's very photogenic. He shows up a lot. Over on the left-hand side is Kevin, and you'll notice that he's not sitting on a chair so much as he's sitting on something called a buoy. The buoy is a height-adjustable rolling platform. And so you get a little bit of core work while you're actually sitting and working on other things. They're also very, very comfortable. They're really nice little chairs. And so we have those out for people to use while they're working on the crossword puzzles. And then you'll notice on the right-hand side, the stacking blocks, just little mental and physical challenges that we have throughout the library to keep people active, to keep people thinking about things. Other events that we have hosted recently, we had popsicles in the library. It was very popular for Giving Day back in the spring, and then we just recently did another one a couple of weeks ago on these hot, hot days to invite people into the library for a popsicle. Seems like a very reasonable thing to do. All right, other stuff that the library has. Down here on the first floor, we have what's called the Graphic Scholarship Collection. Graphic Scholarship is a collection of books. They're actually graphic novels or comic books that are nonfiction. They focus on lots of different areas of study. Lots of different disciplines are represented there. Perhaps the largest swath of what we've got in graphic scholarship is actually called graphic medicine. And these are books that focus on different issues in healthcare. They're oftentimes written as memoir. People find that reading about the experiences of somebody else who has come through a particularly traumatic situation or perhaps a chronic disorder that they are dealing with, that if they're reading a story from somebody's own perspective in their own words, that can be a very meaningful experience. And the graphic novel format makes it a very approachable sort of work. Here you're seeing a selection of things. I don't know how well, good grief, the lawnmower is just outside. You might be hearing that too. I don't know how well you can make some of these out, but if you look, we've got works in here dealing with menopause, dealing with being mute. We've got works dealing with breast cancer, with pregnancy, with diabetes, with Alzheimer's. any number of conditions that are commonplace in the human experience that maybe give us a touchstone for having these conversations with our healthcare providers and others. This is a wonderful selection. Gets very well used. This is a collection of books that gets quite a bit of use here in the library. Another neat little thing that we have here in the library is the one-button studio. Students and faculty oftentimes are called upon to do recordings, videos of presentations or lectures that they need to give. And the one-button studio is designed to be a turnkey experience for anybody who needs to make that kind of video. You can come in, you can reserve this, by the way, just like you reserve the treadmill desks and a number of other things here in the building, but you can reserve it, check it out, and then go into this room, plug in your USB that you want to save your recording onto. The camera lights up, and behind you is a green screen where you can display your PowerPoint slides or any other kind of presentation that you want to show. So you're basically standing there like the weatherman, right? Standing in front of your PowerPoint slides, making motion to them, everything being recorded and saved to the little USB drive that then you walk out the door with. So it's a really easy way, a simple way of getting a recording done for a class or for a talk that you have to give or a lecture. It's a really neat little environment. So several months back, April Schweikert, who is in attendance here, you can see her a little ways down the line there, and Tara Hayes put together our lactation meditation room up on the second floor of the library. This is a wonderful space that's available for young mothers who need to pump. They can reserve this space on the library's website. They can then check it out. It's a very comfortable and relaxed space. Has a white noise generator in there to kind of keep the sound under check, plants and other things to make it a very inviting space. It's also available as a meditation or prayer space. So anyone who needs to check it out for those purposes, it's available to them as well. We're working on other spaces in the library, in the process now of gutting a space on the second floor to build out as a new classroom environment. And here you actually see a 3D rendering of what we're hoping that space will be like when it's finished, with whiteboards running the circumference of the room and these specialized desks that actually have computer monitors built into them. The desks can be moved around. They each seat up to 5 people. And so you can have small groups in different patterns around the room in different spaces, making it very easy for an instructor to custom build out the space for the kind of instruction that they need to give. And in times when it's not being used as a classroom, it'll be available for the students to simply come in and use as group study space. We are also beginning the process of getting a person hired to manage a makerspace, which we will then be building out over the next couple of years. Makerspace has become very popular in libraries around. Bazell, of course, has a very elaborate maker environment there with 3D printers and laser cutters and all kinds of other tools for creating real items, prototypes of things that you're wanting to build. That will be coming up very shortly in affiliation with the Polytechnic Institute, which is coming to campus. But additionally, the library is beginning its work on planning for phase 2. One of the exciting things about this library is that when we built it way too small. You can see all the ideas that we have. These are huge ideas. We don't have enough space for all these damn ideas. We need more space. So phase 2, we are looking at the needs of the campus and trying to sort those out and figure out what centralized functions should be built into an extension of this building. The whole needs assessment process is modeled after something that we did to build out the makerspace, figure out what we needed for that. We started out with focus groups back in the spring. We got some great ideas from them, and that has led to us building out a campus survey that we are hoping to launch this week. Campus survey will help us prioritize and figure out what's most important to the folks at OU-Tulsa that we make available in our new building space. Then after that, hiring the architects and planners and getting all of the donor lined up so that we can actually build out what we need to have. So this was a lot. This was a lot of stuff. Kaylee thinks this is cool. This was a lot of stuff that we covered in a very brief period of time. I did this on purpose so that I'd leave some time at the end for questions and answers. So, and I can go back and revisit any of these. I might have used words wrong as I went around. I didn't have enough coffee this morning. So that's why. So if there are any thoughts or questions, I'd be happy to answer them as best I can.
Yeah, thank you, Stu. A lot of great information. I know way back in the day, it's been a while now since whenever I was a college student, and when you think of the library, it was like, oh, that's maybe the quiet place you go to study or try to, and you do some research there. So I would say libraries in general have come a long way. I think this is great to really enhance one's grasp of knowledge, because that can be very difficult, certainly in various disciplines, of really wrapping your brain around stuff. So I think when you can make it interactive and add some of these different things, that just makes it such a much more enjoyable experience. Now, like you noted, OU-Tulsa is quite a unique campus, OU campus, where you kind of get the best of both, the resources and stuff from the HSC campus and library, and as well as the Norman one, and how they intersect with you all. So who do you serve besides the OU Tulsa students, faculty, and staff? If you have visitors from the Norman or Oklahoma City campuses, are they able to come in and use the resources, or how does that work?
Well, everyone is welcome to come to the library. There are certain resources that are locked down for certain people. Like, for example, the walking treadmill desks, those are only available for University of Oklahoma or OUHSC persons. They're not available for the general public, as an example. We don't have those available for the public to use. But coming into the building, anyone is welcome. We have a lot of resources here in the building that people can use. Online, we have basically access to everything that the University of Oklahoma has and everything that the University of Oklahoma Health Sciences Center has. And so, kind of that rare thing where we're only 22,000 square feet physically, but electronically, we have access to everything. And so, as a result, we actually end up being a little bit bigger electronically than what either of the other two campuses happen to be. One of my examples of that is psychology and psychiatry, where there are psychological and sociological resources on the OU Norman side of the house, and then psychiatry and medical resources on the health sciences side of the house. And you'll oftentimes find people who are enrolled in psychiatry need access really to both. They need really to be able to think in all of those terms. And so we're that rare library that's able to make things available really to across the board to our users that way. We also do host a lot of events, and we try to make as many of those events available to the public as we possibly can. Honestly, still kind of limited by our size, because if we're going to host, say, a 20 by 20 in the gallery space that we've got in front, we're going to max out at about 40 people. So that usually is just an invite to the campus, because we're just not going to be able to have room for everybody else who might want to come. But sometime this spring, we'll host a fundraiser that is our mini golf night. And this is the second time that we've done this. We have the entire library converted into a mini golf course, an 18-hole mini golf course. And it's a fundraiser, so you buy tickets to it, and there's a silent auction and everything else. And that, of course, we try to get as many people to come as we possibly can. And it's last year was very successful. We're really looking forward to doing that again this year. So it depends. The answer is it depends, but we do try to make things available to everybody. I'll say too, the other item, and you kind of touched on this, we'll have faculty who visit from the other two campuses. We'll have a lot of folks who do work from home these days. And so one of the things that we're looking at in terms of the expansion for phase two is creating some co-working spaces so that those folks who are traditionally more either work from home or are visiting from one of the other campuses would have a space that they'd be able to get some of their work done. And so we're looking into what the priority would be for that, for adding that into the phase two plan.
That's excellent. Yeah, great information that evolving and going with just how the world is now kind of coming out of COVID, I would say, how we're kind of learning to operate a little bit differently. So that's great that you guys are able to flex with it and move right along with it and provide that stuff. What would you say is your best kept secret over there at the Schusterman Library? Like I said, you covered and showed such a variety of resources over there. What do you feel like is your best kept secret over there at the library?
Well, it's not a secret at all, and everybody on campus knows this one. It's just that I didn't mention it at all. And it's this last slide here, which is the library team. We have the most phenomenal group working in this building. I could not be happier with the very special team that we've managed to assemble here at the library. Each one of the people that you see there, and you'll notice April managed to make herself absent for this photo. I don't know how she did that, but every single one of the people who work here, we all have our specialties, the things that we're all very, very good at. But the other thing that we're all incredibly good at is working with one another to find solutions. People come to us with problems all the time, and we're able to usually find a way towards saying yes, find a way toward coming up with a solution that helps the people out that we're trying to serve. And I just couldn't be happier with the collection of folks that work in this library. So all due credit to them. That would be the secret right there, Lindsay. I have another secret other than that. I'm a transparent person.
Fantastic. Yes, I know I can say most certainly everyone that I've interacted with, worked with from out of the library have been just most excellent and always so wonderful to work with and so very helpful. So absolutely, I think I can agree with that. And that's so great whenever you can really come up with such a great team. That can be difficult to do, to have just full team of outstanding people, individuals to really come along and work so well together. So that is awesome. Congrats to you.
Thank you. We've been very fortunate.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time. I am not seeing any other questions come through at this time, but most definitely you have shared your contact info there, Stu at ou.edu. So if any other questions pop up along the way, and also if you're there on the OU-Tulsa campus, just take a quick, short little walk on over and pop in and see them in person and check out all of these really cool things that they have available over there and engage and get connected. And looking forward to the 20 by 20 later this month. So that's exciting that you guys have been able to bring that back. It's been out for a few years. And then also I'll have to put on my calendar for some mini golf at the library. So always love a good round of mini golf. So that sounds like a lot of fun.
And don't forget, if you use the treadmill desk, the bike desk, or the underdesk ellipticals this month, there's a little QR code on there. Scan that QR code. You're entered into a drawing for some really great prizes, including a 10-pack of classes at Orange Theory Fitness. So anyone who's interested should be using that equipment, scanning the little code, and getting themselves entered into our contest.
Awesome. Yeah, what another great perk to hear. So just another great reason to head on over and visit you guys there. Again, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time and helping us kick off OU Wellbeing Awareness Month. So
Glad
thank
to do
you
it.
so
Thank you,
much.
Lindsay.